The League didn't teach you everything.
You have some wisdom to share?
The importance of self-control.
Hey guys, this is Kim from Gamereactor, and I'm here at NetherRealm Studios, and I'm standing next to a legend in the gaming industry, and I'll just let him introduce himself. Hey.
Hi, my name is Ed Boon. I am the creative director at NetherRealm Studios.
Hey, so you're showing off the newest game today, like Injustice 2, which is the sequel to Injustice Gods Among Us. Yes. Can you just tell us a little bit about the game first?
Sure. The first Injustice game that we made was, a fighting game with this amazing story mode, featured a big, huge roster of DC characters, and it did really well for us. And so we started working on a sequel, and we wanted to do, everything that people would want to see in a sequel, which is basically more characters, cooler moves, a bigger roster of characters, and but then we wanted to do something unexpected, and that's where we introduced what we're calling a gear system. Mm-hmm. And a gear system is basically costume pieces that you earn throughout the game as you're playing all the modes that you equip your character with, and they actually level up your character, make them more powerful, give them new moves, and make them stronger, better defense. And so you're in this constant process of improving, leveling up your character, and making your own customized version of these, iconic characters throughout the DC roster.
Speaking about the gear system, like, what were your reasoning for including that other than making it super cool? It's like, does it add anything special to the game, and what does it do with like the online part where people have to fight each other, and you don't want to like meet the big boy and then be a tiny little guy?
Yeah, well, we will have like a matchmaking system that will kind of match you up with somebody of a comparable level. But that's actually, the online component is one of the most exciting parts of this, because every time you go online, you're going to see another person's custom version of Batman, of Superman, of Atrocitus, of Supergirl. And that's going to be so exciting because they're going to look differently. They're going to have different advantages based on if the player wants to be more defensive, offensive, or something, big customized version of these characters. So, in a sense, every time you go online and play somebody, you're playing a unique version of those characters, Superman, Batman, Atrocitus, and that's what's going to be so. I can't wait to see people, enjoying that.
When it comes to the gear system, since that's like you said that you can actually change your character's looks, is it like only through like the gear, or do you have like a wardrobe system? So if somebody likes a special piece and they want to keep that piece, even though they want to like build on it, can they do that?
Oh yeah. There's a number of things that you can do. A lot of the stuff that you'd kind of expect to be able to do with the gear, we're familiar with that whole system, and so we're going to really build in all those features of that. But the gear isn't the only new feature. We're also extending our story mode, which has been really taken on a life of its own. With the first Injustice game, we had the story mode, and we introduced a comic book that kind of told the backstory, and we're doing it again with this Injustice game. So it's the gear, the story, the new characters, the online features. It's like this game is just really huge.
And you also had like a beta running right now. What about the feedback you got there? Any good feedback?
The feedback's been fantastic. Whenever we're trying something new, we're always, really want to have our ear to the wall of like, how are people, responding to these features, and people are just loving the thing. It's great to see on YouTube people showing off their custom version of, Blue Beetle or someone like that. And, there's so many hundreds of pieces of gear for every character that you really get some unique stuff. So the beta has been a great success and has really, kind of solidified our this new feature that we're doing.
You also have like the comic that you talked about just now, and it was awesome. I've read all of it, and it's really good. Any plans on making an animated show, maybe?
You know what? I would love to. I mean, we don't have anything that we're announcing or anything, but what one of the cool things about the first Injustice game is it seemed to have kind of planted the seed for we've kind of carved out a universe of DC characters where, Superman's the dictator, him and Batman are adversaries. And so it's really kind of resonated with people through our story, the comics, filling in of details and the continuation of this thing. So I'd love to see it, move on to even bigger and better things.
Like you said, the Injustice universe is like a huge thing. It's basically one of the multiverses of the DC universe now. The characters are they're the same, but they're different. So, but how does Warner take it? Like, no, the DC comic guys take it. Do you work with those? Or
DC was collaborators with us. Like throughout the entire process of designing the game, conceptualizing the characters, coming up with directions for the story. They've been a great collaborator with us and are just as excited about the game. We send them builds and they play it, and they're all we get all this great feedback and stuff. So it's been a really good partnership with them.
That's great. So you're introducing a lot of characters into the new game. Some of my favorites, like Dr. Fate, he's one of my favorites now. And I just saw him and I kind of fangirled inside. And I'm still really hoping for Constantine, and I know you can't talk about the others, but when you look at the roster from Mortal Kombat X and from Injustice, how big are we talking? Like, is it huge?
The roster for our game will be the biggest roster that we've released for any one of the NetherRealm titles, Mortal Kombat or Injustice. One of the fun things about doing Injustice 2 was being able to dive even deeper into the DC roster. DC roster is amazing. They have just as amazing villains as they do heroes, which is so fun. And with the first game, there's always you have to stop at some point. So we couldn't do Atrocitus or Supergirl or Dr. Fate or all of these kind of deeper into the roster, maybe not quite as high profile as a Batman or Superman, but absolutely as interesting. And that's what's one of the most exciting things about this game, is finally being able to show a living, breathing Atrocitus in our game, in a presentation. And same with Dr. Fate. Our story mode features all of these characters. It's like watching this amazing cinematic Justice League event. So we're really excited about that.
Which of the characters are your favorite, though? Like from the new ones, not like Batman and Superman from the older, but all the new ones that are in
Atrocitus really stands out for me. He's just this. I always feel like he has a little bit, like he can actually work in a Mortal Kombat game. He's just got so much anger in him. And but I also, Dr. Fate is going to be a great character in the game too. So people who are really big DC fans, this is going to be like a Christmas for them. Exactly. Yeah.
When you go from Mortal Kombat X, which is this high profile, you've created this for many decades now, basically, and it's the most violent game ever created, I think, at least. How is it going from that into making something like Injustice, which you can't do? I'm guessing you can't do whatever you want with the characters. You have guidelines from probably.
It's not a mature rated game. It's great. It's actually like a big palate cleanse. Like we're suddenly in the world of superheroes and supervillains and these characters that we all kind of grew up on. So it's great to kind of take a break from Mortal Kombat and do something fresh and different. And then by the time we're all done with that, you just kind of clear your head and you're just ready to take on the next game.
So when's the release and for which platforms?
Injustice 2 comes out May 19th for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Sweet. So that was Ed Boon from NetherRealm. So thanks for having us.
Thank you.